just say this. The 13-year-old girl, the 20-year-old boy, and the mother. So the 13-year-old girl snuck the 20-year-old in her window. The mama comes home, finds the little 20-year-old boy under the bed. Mind you, when she was knocking on the door, she already had the gun in her hand. She was already asking who was in her house, which means she already knew somebody was in there. 15 minutes later, while he gathering his belongings, walking outside, she goes to shoot the little boy in the head. Now we're gonna take this all the way back. We're going to take this all the way back to parenting. No parent has no business leaving a 13-year-old child at home at 1 o'clock in the morning, especially if you know your child grown.
I know y'all remember this situation. It happened a couple months ago. It's still kind of fresh. Y'all remember when that mother returned home and she caught a 21-year-old woman in the bed with her 13-year-old son, and they were having smacks. They were caught in the middle of the act. I know y'all remember that shit. Now I guarantee you, if that mother would have did the exact same thing that Kendra Scott did to that 20-year-old, y'all would want her in jail.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
What's going on YouTube? We have a mother who unalived a 20-year-old for being in the room with her 13-year-old. And you have a torn, indecisive viewpoint from opposite genders asking different questions. I'm going to play both clips and we're going to break this thing down, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this whole thing. First of all, my condolences to the 20-year-old. Shouldn't have happened, but we're going to have to address the elephant in the room. Let's have a conversation.
I'm going to just say this. The 13-year-old girl, the 20-year-old boy, and the mother. So the 13-year-old girl snuck the 20-year-old in her window. The mama comes home, finds the little 20-year-old boy under the bed. Mind you, when she was knocking on the door, she already had the gun in her hand. She was already asking who was in her house, which means she already knew somebody was in there. 15 minutes later, while he gathering his belongings, walking outside, she goes to shoot the little boy in the head. Now we're going to take this all the way back. We're going to take this all the way back to parenting. No parent has no business leaving a 13-year-old child at home at 1 o'clock in the morning, especially if you know your child grown. Enough space and opportunity to do what they want, they're going to do what they want. They're going to do what they see. These kids get phones at 8 years old, 4 years old. These kids be wearing bust down middle parts in middle school. These kids wear eyelashes in elementary school. Then y'all be acting like y'all friends with y'all kids and then be wondering why they be growing up so grown. I'll be having them in all types of adult conversation. Y'all bring every man that y'all sleep with and talk to around y'all kids. So of course your daughter is gonna do what she see you do. But at the end of the day, she's still a child. And a child has to answer to an adult. A lot of y'all trying to defend this 20-year-old boy talking about, oh, she lied about her age. First off, that's not a fact because nobody has came out and said the little girl lied about her age. Even if she did lie about her age, as a grown person, you know when a child is a child, even if they lie about their age. A lot of you grown men like to try to act like y'all don't know how old these little ass girls be, so y'all can avoid taking accountability for your pedophile ways. Secondly, if you have to sneak in somebody's window or sneak in somebody's back door, you know the situation is wrong. So I don't want to hear none of that. In the black community, y'all like to give the boys a pass. Like, oh, he's just a boy. That's why they being unalive and put in jail, because y'all want to take up for them in the wrong situations. When you decide that you want to sneak in somebody's house, we all know the consequences behind that. Now let's get to this mama. Mama, you just wanted to catch a body. You had already told your daughter that if you ever caught a boy in the house that you was gonna put a hole in his ass, which means you knew your daughter was grown. So why did you have her at home by herself? Where were you at? My mother has never left me unattended. And please don't say nothing about work, because she could have went to a grandmama house, a auntie house, anybody house. I don't know if it was because of her pride, because you had to stand on what you said you was gonna do. I would have understand if it was like a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, but he's a 20-year-old. He's still young. Even though he wrong, if you was gonna pew him, you should have did that while he was in your house immediately. So what the law gonna say is that it was premeditated. You thought about it. You wasn't that mad, because if you was that mad, you would have did it immediately. Me personally, I would have rather seen him go to jail and be marked as a sexual predator versus you taking his life. Because who you feeling like? You have other kids to raise, and not only that, now she don't got no mother, so she gonna really be outside. Like, what was the purpose?
So I want to address this part. I hate pedophiles. I hate men and women who prey on children. I agree. There is a double standard on both sides. We have to give it up. This is definitely a large blame for the mother for raising her child to be fast like that. Everything that was exhibited there, I experienced it when I was young. Sneaking people in and all that. The only difference is the people were present here. So it wasn't until you got a little older and you got a way to finesse and sneak home or stay home that you can get away with that shit. But it started somewhere around us. The tribe started to dwindle. Grandma was taken out the home. We got more laid back and lazy. You repeat the cycle. This is what happens when mothers are no longer mothers and fathers aren't fathers anymore. And you let them be raised by social media and music. Now, as far as him knowing, she don't look like she's no fucking 20 or none of that shit. She looks like a whole child. I don't know how anybody could have been confused by that. And also on top of that, she said something else that I thought was excellent. If she was so grown, why the hell you gotta sneak into my house? I'm not sneaking in nobody's shit. If I can't walk through the front door, that's a red flag. Period. Everything about how this transpired tells me that we're missing a lot. 13 years old, you hot like that, and y'all gonna act like y'all know y'all kids ain't moving like that. Yeah. Now, you said that you didn't hear anything about him being on spectrum and nothing like that. I've seen other clips where they say he kind of slow. Either way, it's like someone failed him, someone failed her. For him to be able to be so free to look at a little girl like that and make up in his head that she looks appropriate for her age is absolutely crazy. Where would you get that from? The whole thing is fucked up. I agree he should have been in jail rather than unalive. I agree. She wanted to kill a dude. She wanted to shoot a man. She wanted a reason to shoot somebody. But also, we're not going to act like your daughter was innocent either. Just because, first of all, I don't know how this is going to go forward. I don't know if she's going to be released. I don't know how they're going to go with that. If they don't charge her with something, That's crazy. If she gets a slap on the wrist, that's crazy. But you took somebody from their family for however y'all want to look at it, for consensual and unconsensual. She was fucking with somebody older than her. Most of you broads would sleep with niggas that was older than y'all. That's how you know this generation is cool. Because if you would have stopped this shit before it spread, they wouldn't be moving like they are. But again, I want to get to this other clip. This is where it's like you have two different opinions. This brother's discussing something almost similar. The only difference is nobody really came after the woman who was dealing with the little boy.
Gang, I know y'all remember this situation. It happened a couple months ago. It's still kind of fresh. Y'all remember when that mother returned home and she caught a 21-year-old woman in the bed with her 13-year-old son, and they were having smecks. They were caught in the middle of the act. I know y'all remember that shit. Now I guarantee you, if that mother would have did the exact same thing that Kendra Scott did to that 20-year-old, y'all would want her in jail. Y'all would want her in jail. Y'all know damn well y'all would have pulled y'all frontal lobe theory. Oh, the 13-year-old was a child and she was a child as well. Because when you're under 25, your frontal lobe. Y'all know the bullshit y'all be pulling. I guarantee you, if that mother would have handled that situation with her 13-year-old son, if she would have handled that situation exactly how Kendra Scott handled the situation, y'all would have been calling her a monster, not a hero. If she wasn't violent, she wasn't trying to fight the mother back. She was just gathering her things, trying to leave, and the mother would have executed her. Y'all would have said the mother was wrong. And if you didn't want her to do jail in life, you definitely would have said she deserved some time because that woman wasn't a threat. Come on now, make the shit make sense. And
just to refresh our memory, because you might not be familiar with what he's referring to. Hold tight.
Stinking bitch in my motherfucking house with my 13-year-old motherfucking child.
I'm praying for the mother and the son. And I'm also praying for this woman because we don't know her situation and what possessed her to feel like this was okay. Everybody just needs prayer. This is like, and to be honest with you, it happens more often than we'd like to talk about. It's so sad, and we cannot continue to use trauma or whatever to prey on children. Or she would say something like, even if he was the one to initiate the situation, you're a grown woman and you can tell the boy no.
What this boils down to is we did a piss poor job bringing and cultivating these young minds into being better than what we was, because we were ratchet, hood, ghetto, and demonic, and we played on both sides of the fence with our spirituality and our faith. We stepped out in the world and wanted to be perverse, and did things that we wouldn't be proud of now. They mimicked it. We were too lazy to prevent it. Then this is what you get. No man or woman should be preying on children. Nobody should be having their life taken away from them either. Not in this way. The law should have handled this. He should have been put in jail. The woman that with that 13-year-old, same situation. And ironically, both of them was the same age, but this woman wasn't killed over it, but this young man was killed over his fault, which leads me to believe that somewhere deep down inside, women have a certain level of hatred towards men because it's the same crime. So why wasn't it met with the same level of ferocity? Why wasn't one given grace over the other? And I'm not condoning none of it. I keep saying if you're gonna hold people accountable, hold everybody accountable all across the board, and it doesn't have to resort in violence. Your little girl fast as shit because you were. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was, but you're to blame for that. The young man is the way he was because somebody raised him that way. All of this could have been avoided. What you've seen with these kids and these adults due to lack of home training. But I digress.